5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi everybody, my name is Jordon Williams. Pleasure to be here with you today playing. I'm 16 years old and I attend Cheltenham High School. I'm here with my great piano teacher, Mr. Donald Washington. And the last great thing that's happened to me, I just recently received a scholarship to the Berklee 5-week summer music program. And I'll be heading off to Berklee within the next 24 hours. And I'm glad to be here playing with you today.
And what happened in February? I understand something happened in February.
In February, I played at the TED Conference, Technology, Entertainment and Design Conference in California, and this was through Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. Me and a group of other great music talents throughout the country. We all came together and collaborated through the Berklee City Music Program, and we basically played a variety of different Stevie Wonder tunes and R&B tunes from great legends, and we played at the TED Conference in California this last February. We met a lot of different innovative thinkers, and we just had a great time playing there.
So what do you attribute your exposure and your tutelage under Mr. Chappy Donald Washington to getting you to where you are right now? You're 16 years old.
Right. Oh, wow. Mr. Washington is a great part of my musical growth. You know, he provided me with the foundation, you know, great music foundation, and he's basically just spread my horizons. I mean, one of the greatest things that he taught me how to do was how to transcribe music and whatnot, and how to hear different genres of music, such as R&B, gospel, and whatnot. He's given me a great foundation on how to solo over form, how to solo over chord changes and whatnot, and he's just been a great instructor for me. You know, my musical foundation, and I don't know where I would be without Mr. Donald Washington here.
How long have you been working and being a student, you know, under Mr. Donald Washington?
I've been with Mr. Washington for, I'd say, 5 years now. 5-6 years now.
And you're 16.
I'm 16 years old.
And when you came to him, pardon
right.
me, you were just a baby.
Oh yeah, I was younger. You know, I was still learning, and he took my music to a whole nother dimension.
Okay, and it's been a fun trip.
Yes, definitely.
I have a question for Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington, Chappy, my main man. What happened when you saw this young 11-year-old gentleman coming into your studio?
Well, Jordan walked into the music room with his dad, Mr. Williams, and he said, "I would like to study piano." I looked at the kid. He looked serious. He was moving. Jordan has a body movement about him that he moves like when like he wants to do something. He goes like this. I said, "This kid looks like he's pretty ambitious." I said, "What do you know?" So he sat down and he started playing the piano. And he already knew a lot of things. You know, I was, oh, okay. I was looking at him.
As a music teacher,
yeah, you know.
He said, "What's this all about?"
Oh, yeah, he said, "You ain't got that far to go." I said, "Yeah, I show him what I got, you know, and put that together. He'll probably be teaching me in a couple of years, you know." So he sat down, he started playing, and I noticed his fingering was just a little bit off. He was using his thumbs a lot. On piano, you really use your thumbs. I believe your thumbs are basically for support, mostly. I mean, you use them on the keys, but you don't want to get caught up in your thumbs too much. And a lot of piano players do that. So now I told Jordan that. He went back and he started practicing. And he come back, he might use the thumb a little bit. I said, "Oh, that's all right." So you can use the thumb sometime. And he starts soaking things up. And he come back to next lesson. He have his lesson down. He comes back the next time, he has his lesson down. Every time
Jordan, what is this, like once a week or
this
twice
will be once a week.
Once a week.
And every time Jordan comes to lessons, Jordan always was able to walk away with something else, some more knowledge, because he studied. He's a very humble kid, very respectful, and kids like that usually pick up pretty quick when they sit back and listen. Because the first element of music to becoming musical anyway is to be able to listen. If it's a person that can't listen, then you're gonna have troubles. You know, don't take up music if you can't listen. And then it adds to a point after you listen, then you got to be able to hear. Now, if you put those two together, and this young man, he knows those things. And then within the matters of, I seen him grow, and within the matters of a year and a half, I've seen him like this turn over. I mean, boom, I'll just hit him all of a sudden. And I walked in a place one day, and who's the piano player playing in there? I said, he sounds good. And I heard a few things. I said, sound like me a little bit. I hear some few lines that I've played or that I've practiced or something. There's a couple of little things because he's got his own style. You know, he studied with me, but he grabbed his own style. He knew how to take what I gave him and turn it into what he wanted to do with it. And that's what I like, you know. So I listened to this piano player, and somebody said, that's Jordon Williams in there playing. I ran in the room, I almost fell. When I ran, I said, oh man, I said, it sure is. When he got off the stage, I almost cried, man. That's how good I felt.
It sounded that great.
It sounded that great, man. You know, I felt like, you know, I told my wife, I said, out of all the years that I've lived when coming up, and I studied the piano, I always wanted to give it to somebody. You know, I gave music to my brothers. My dad passed it down to me. But I give it to my brothers, they're going in their own merry way. But to have a kid to come up and actually see a kid grow is the most beautiful thing you can ever see.
It becomes a part of the DNA.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and then and it grows.
And it grows.
Just like a root to a tree.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
You know?
You briefly went over somebody that I'd just like you to lightly elaborate on, and that's my best friend in the world, your dad, Donald Washington, Pops Donald Washington.
Right.
And did you know when he was forcing you to take your lessons and all that you told me that you went through to be who you are today as a musician, did you know then that you would be sitting here now with a great student like Jordon?
Never even could imagine it. And my dad used to always my dad used to stick by me like Ralph would stick by his son, Jordan, you know, and that means a lot when the parent is right there with you. No matter how much talent you got or how good you are, you have to have, as a child and a young man and young lady, young woman, you have to have your parent there with you to keep you intact, to keep you growing. Because the way I was a little different. I had scholarships and stuff like that, but I had to like kind of like go another way.
Right. Hold on. And you were saying
how Dad used to keep me intact. You know, I needed him with me. You know, I needed him to take me around to different places, make sure I didn't go off into the wrong thing with them little guys that was hanging on the corners and stuff. So he said, you want to play music or you want to do something? So I said, I want to play music. And he said, are you serious? And I said, yes, I am. So I wound up going to school and learning to play, hanging out with him. And this is what happened. And
here we are today.
Here we are today. You know?
Beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful sunny day. Mm-hmm. With, are you familiar at all, Jordan, with the tune "You Are Young, Gifted, and Black" by Nina Simone?
No.
You might not be, but you need to check it out because you are what she wrote and played in one of her tunes.
Right.
You're young, gifted, and black. We must begin to teach our young. There's a world waiting for you. And I don't want to get into it because I'm not a singer. But Jordan, you're young, gifted, and black. Can you grace us with another tune, please?
Sure. Thank you.
What do we have? Talk to me. Tell me what's on the
This is an original that I wrote entitled "The Aftermath."
So you're composer as well?
Yes.
Okay. Lay it on me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. what was the name of that?
The Aftermath.
The Aftermath.
Yes.
Of whatever you want to make it the aftermath of.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. Crazy night, lappy night. Okay. 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. My name is Ralph Williams, and I'm the dad of Jordon Williams here, to my left. And he got started in music. Well, he actually had an ear for music from very early on. When he was about maybe 10 months old, my wife noticed that he had an acute ear for melody and singing tunes on pitch. And when he was about maybe 10 months old, he started developing a repertoire of nursery rhymes and songs.
How old?
About 10 months.
10 months old.
10 months old, and he had a real strong sense for pitch and melody. And we noticed that, my wife noticed how well he could retain musical small phrases and that kind of thing. And prior to 2 years old, he was actually singing Mongo Santa Maria's Train's version of Monto Santa Maria's Afro Blue, and he would actually sing it on pitch. And he would actually sing the opening melody, hit the bridge, and actually come back and repeat the closeout of the tune. And we were somewhat impressed by that. And he just continued to develop his ear at a very early age, and we noticed that he had a good ear for hearing sound.
So one of the family members are musicians or both?
I'm a percussionist, and my wife does some singing, and we both, on both sides of our family, we have some music background.
So it's in the DNA. He gets it honest.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this: who helped you get started with Jordon music?
That's a real. His start was very, very interesting. About back in 2003, we were going down to Penn's Landing, and there were some R&B venues down there at the time, and we noticed a young gentleman there playing piano. He was about maybe 11 or 12 years old, and his name was is Mateo Jimenez. And
he used to be a student here.
He used to be a student here. This is before we came to the Cleff Club. And my wife and I were blown away by this young kid's talent. We were blown away. And after he was playing a lot of jazz standards, and he was playing some R&B things, and showing a lot of skill with improvisation. And afterwards, I had an opportunity to speak with his parents, Derek and Yolanda Jimenez. And Derek kind of took me under his wing and really gave me a lot of information on how to get Jordon started.
And how did Derek come into the picture?
Derek was his dad. Mateo's dad, Derek Jimenez. And afterwards, he was talking to me. He was telling me about the Philadelphia Cleff Club. He said, "Listen, you have to get your son down here to the Philadelphia Cleff Club. Mr. Lovett Hines is the director of the program." And I called down here to get in touch with Mr. Hines, and actually, on occasion, Mr. Hines still kind of jokes with me about that. I was so persistent with trying to reach him. It took a while for me to actually make the connection, but in September or October, he came down here to the Cleff Club, and he started studying under Mr. Joe Patterson. Joe Patterson was his initial jazz instructor, and he studied with him for about 2.5 years, and Mr. Patterson really developed him and really taught him a lot about some of the fundamentals and that type of thing. Very methodical approach toward studying. And after 2 years of Mr. Patterson, he was introduced to Mr. Washington. And Mr. Washington opened Jordon up like a balloon.
Yeah, just took it on over the top.
He opened him up like a balloon, and it was amazing. I sat in on a handful of their lessons in the early days.
But how old was he then?
When he came to Mr. Washington, he was about 9.5, maybe going on 10.
But how old was he with Mr. Patterson?
He started with Mr. Patterson at 7. He studied under him for about 2 years, and then he started with Mr. Washington at about 10. and it was amazing. Mr. Washington really opened him up into some very complicated things. I was very, very impressed about some of the things they were covering musically. You know, he was teaching him how to compose and arrange, how to hear, how to transcribe. Actually, they would bring CDs to the lessons, and they would actually sit down for an entire lesson and transcribe music. And he would teach him how to not only improvise, but how to improvise in different modes.
Now, who was this?
This is Mr. Washington.
Okay.
And it was absolutely amazing. Some of the deep musical lessons that he had, I thought were very, very mature and advanced for a 12-year-old. But obviously he was picking it up, and Mr. Washington was constantly giving it to him. So,
hold a thought for a minute. Jordon, question. How did you feel at that time in your young age being exposed to all of this? Is this where you wanted to go? Did Dad have to drag you in here kicking and screaming, or
No.
were you dragging Dad, let's get down there before we be late?
No, I mean, this was definitely something that came from me,
Okay.
something that I kind of was drawn towards. I can remember listening to certain albums, certain tracks, certain CDs that really just intrigued me and really sparked my interest in the music. And from there, I guess just listening to one album or one track, whether it be John Coltrane's My Favorite Things or Afro Blue or Miles Davis's So What, from there that really just sparked my interest. And then basically I said, give me more. You know, I basically wanted more of the music.
Okay,
And
so the
from there,
day
it
of the
was just-
music lessons, who's up first?
Oh,
You wake up Dad and say,
I guess we were both.
man, I mean, were you bugging, man? That's what I'm doing. I mean, you know, were you bugging?
I was excited about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I
so
wanted
you were
more. I
bugging
wanted
out,
as much
man.
of it
You
as
can't wait.
possible. I
Can't
wanted
wait.
as much of it as possible.
Can't wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're letting me at him.
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. You have any closing statements for me?
yeah, I mean, the music, his understanding with regard to music kind of went beyond just the piano too. I mean, he had a lot of great music conductors, band leaders.
Such as
One of his initial band leaders is Mr. Vernon Lewis, who is one of the leading band directors down here. And one of the things with Mr. Lewis would always hammer Jordon with was being able to understand the music, the form of the music. He would really hammer him with form. And Mr. Washington was really large on form as well. And another instructor down here, music band leader down here, was Will Wright. Will Wright had a talent for having kids to rearrange standards and creatively rearrange some things. Another
Jordon was involved with all of that.
with all of that.
And about how old was he then?
During that time, about 13.
Okay.
When he was under Will Wright.
Okay.
And around and it would interchange with Mr. Vernon Lewis as well. And another band instructor down here, Mr. Lewis Taylor, and at the Cleff Club, and he would bring another element. He would allow the kids to bring their own original compositions, and he would help them develop their original music.
Okay.
And if I might add, another conductor that he was under the tutelage of was Mr. Mark Johnson over here at the Kimmel Center, where Jordon was a part of the youth ensemble for about 4 years. And Mark Johnson, he was really a master at developing sight reading and how to read charts, and how to actually, be creative with your own imagination and that kind of thing. So all that combined with his piano instruction and the conductors and that kind of thing really brought it all together.
So here we are with the manifestation of all of that hard work and creativity. What are you going to play for us now, Jordon?
My Favorite Things.
My favorite tune.
Thank you so much, Mr. Washington. I greatly appreciate this very much. Thank you for teaching me, and thank you for being here for me, and helping me with this. Greatly appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
Thank you very much.
Keep going.
Thank you, definitely.
And I wish you a lot of luck with your the college thing and everything.
Thank you.
Anything I can do to help you, let me know.
Okay, no problem.
No matter what it is.
Thank you very much.
We're looking for great things from you.
Thank you. This is myself, Jordon Williams, and Mr. Donald Washington, and we are playing a piece entitled Recorda Me, written by Joe Henderson. Hopefully you enjoy. In the year 1964.
Okay.
Hopefully you enjoy.
Okay, let's have it. Jordan, what would you say has been the greatest lesson you've learned from Mr. Washington?
I'll say the greatest lesson that I learned from Mr. Washington was basically listening, and listening to all kinds of music, all styles of music. One of the biggest things that I did, one of the greatest things that I learned through my lessons with Mr. Washington, is how to learn different songs from different genres. I mean, I remember going in with my tape recorder, and there would be like a variety of different R&B/gospel songs, and he would basically break it down and show me how to work out the changes, find out what the chords are, find out what the progressions are. And he basically gave me a deep foundation on how to transcribe music and whatnot. And from there, I mean, it's so many things. Trying to pinpoint one is difficult.
Okay, I mean, but that was a good one, though.
Thank you.
Okay, what is your favorite genre?
My favorite genre. Out of the four that I play classical, jazz, R&B, and gospel. I would have to say jazz is my favorite.
Is it any reason for that, or?
I mean, well,
your heroes, the creation of the music, the improvisation.
Right.
No, not right. Tell me.
I feel as if, I mean, they all provide certain aspects of freedom, but personally, I feel as if when I'm playing jazz, I feel most free. I feel most creative. I feel as if I can fully let out all of my ideas and how I feel and whatnot. I mean, it's a free music. It's in the moment. It's creative, and that's basically what I like about it. I mean, it's not so much strict and rigid as far as directions and how to play it is concerned. I mean, there are certain frameworks as to how to play the music, but a lot of it is up to interpretation and how you feel and how you basically feel like playing it. That's one of the reasons I would say.
So everything is moving at 360 degrees.
Yes, exactly, and it's moving fast.
Moving fast. Okay. So what do you like most about jazz, since that's your favorite genre?
What do I like most about jazz? I'd say, wow, so many things. I'll say the creativity of it. The improvisation. The jazz has a lot of different branches. I mean, a lot of times you can swing. A lot of times, you have ballads, you have bossas, different Latin beats and grooves. I mean, it's broad, and I feel as if jazz covers a lot of bases, of music in general. So I mean, I basically enjoy just playing, whatever I feel.
Do you feel the influence of the masters?
Oh yes.
When you're playing?
Yes. Oh yes.
Kind of
heavily.
Heavily.
Yes.
Okay, so you pay homage to them.
Oh yes. Yes.
When you're playing jazz music. That's
yes.
great. Okay, most teens aren't into jazz. Have you encountered any peer pressure because of your choice of music that you like to play?
Yes, I've encountered a lot of it. But I basically, I've come to the decision, that this is something that I enjoy doing. This is something that I do and that, that God has blessed me with. So I mean, yeah, a lot of my peers, I would say, or many of my peers don't fully appreciate it. But I mean, that's basically one of the things that I try to do. I try to spread the music. A lot of kids my age think that jazz is just for old people. I try to show them that it's for young people too. I mean, everybody can get into it. But there is some
people that can't even speak English.
Exactly.
Worldwide.
Exactly. It's a universal music, universal language. So I mean, I just try to spread it. But
American classical music.
Exactly.
Created by our ancestors.
Exactly, definitely.
So, is that how you handle it?
Yes, and also just ignoring. I mean, whatever they
Okay.
say. I mean.
Okay, so you're a full-time student.
Yes.
With a pretty demanding schedule.
Oh yes.
What does your typical week look like?
My weeks are hectic, mainly because I take a lot of heavy classes, in all honors and AP classes. in high school, which is tough. A lot of homework, a lot of responsibilities and whatnot. So a lot of times I stay up late all night. But I also have to balance that out with my practice schedule, and I'm also athletically inclined. So I mean, I'm doing a whole lot of things.
You like to ball and do the things that kids
I try to do it all.
I got you. And what is your grade point average?
My grade point average as of now, I believe, is a 3.5.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, you're on the one. Okay, do you play church as well?
Yes, I am playing in the church as well. I've been getting into gospel music. Actually, just recently, I performed for my church for Youth Sunday.
And what is the name of your church?
Mount Zion Baptist Church of Germantown.
Where?
In Germantown section of Philadelphia.
Okay, we'll leave it like that. Okay, so how do you juggle school, life, schedule, and practice?
Basically priorities. I mean, I have a certain set of priorities. I know the first God comes first, and then second to that, is my schoolwork and academics, and I try to really focus on that. As soon as I get home, I drop my bag, eat a snack, and try to get started on my homework. And then from there, I mean, I basically try to schedule things out as best as I can. It's not always perfect, but after I'm finished my my homework, I try to practice for a little while.
I got a question for you. The day before, the night before a gig that you're excited about playing, do you get any sleep? Do you sleep well and wake up, ready to go, or do you, I mean, what's that night like before the big gig?
Before the big
before
gig?
the gig today. Is this a big gig?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Did you sleep well?
Yes.
Okay,
I try to get some rest to the best of my abilities, but I also try to stay prepared musically and whatnot, trying to make sure that everything is in order for the next day. But for the most part, I get adequate sleep.
Me personally, I don't sleep too well before a big gig.
Right.
I'm better when I put my mind on co-pilot, because I've done it so long.
Right.
I just try to stay in the co-pilot mode. That way I don't make mistakes. When I'm over rested, I make mistakes because I'm thinking and I'm trying to go outside of the mode that I already created for myself.
Right.
So if I stay in the mode that I know works for me, then I'm pretty much on time. And I mostly focus at the end of the gig before it starts.
Right.
You ever do that?
You're saying at the end of?
Yeah. In other words, when I start when I start a production,
right,
my thoughts are at the end of it. How am I going to get through it and
right,
how am I going to end it?
Sometimes I guess I can say I've had similar thoughts as far as especially more like when I'm nervous and whatnot prior to a big.
When you are doing gigs, is it any group of guys or group of people that you just get excited and you really like playing with? They open you up, they allow you to just soar and flow.
I enjoy playing with a vast variety of musicians. Fortunately enough, being here in the city of Philadelphia, there's a lot of different great musicians I can choose from. But I like playing with the younger guys as well, because I feel like we gel.
The younger jazz musicians.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Currently, the group that I enjoy playing with the most, and it's actually my group, my trio. We have Kyrie Shahid on the drums and Bruce Ketter on the bass.
And yourself on?
And myself on piano.
Okay.
And I mean, so I have a lot of friends, a lot of musician friends that I really enjoy playing with, and that I really look forward to playing with. Those guys are one of them. Another guy that I love playing with when he's on drums, Justin Faulkner, the great Justin Faulkner. I have fun, and I just learn. I learn a whole lot, from a variety of different musicians, and it's just great.
Okay. Let's play some more music.
Sure.